We all know that sitting is not good for our posture. Despite that, we spend a lot of our time sitting. In fact, 1 in 4 adults spends more than 8 hours sitting every day. As well as that, with the advent of the mobile phone, we are spending more time in that hunched over position. First of all, think about your posture right now. Are you slouching over? Are you sitting up straight? Are you standing? If you think that you have bad posture, chances are you probably do. The simple way to test is to take a photo of yourself in the mirror from the side. If your ear is in front of your shoulders, it means you have forward head posture. That position of your head puts a lot of load on your neck. For every inch that your head tilts forward, roughly 5 kilograms of load is added to your neck. Perhaps the reason you are watching this video in the first place is because you are experiencing neck pain. Whatever the case, almost all of us can improve our posture. When you have both rounded shoulders and that forward head posture, it is called nerd neck. Nerd neck, despite the name, is a serious condition. It can cause a lot of pain and hamper your ability to train effectively. Sitting can be a major cause and exacerbator of nerd neck. Sometimes when people are talking about neck pain, they offer the unhelpful advice of sitting down less. Of course, minimizing the time you sit is going to help. But given that we can't remove sitting from our lives completely, we need something that we can do every day to address the problems that sitting is creating in our posture. I have created a 10-minute program that we can do every day to help address the problems that sitting causes and alleviate neck and shoulder pain. Not only will your posture be better, but your neck and shoulder pain will be a thing of the past. I will justify every exercise that I have put into that program because all nerd neck is a collection of symptoms. If we can identify the cause of those symptoms and address them, over time, the problem will go away. So let's see what's going on anatomically. We have a number of structures that are either weak or immobile, which are causing this problem. The first problem is that we are lacking thoracic mobility. The mid-back muscles are stretched out and weak. These include the rhomboids and the middle and lower fibers of the trapezius. The muscles in the front of our neck get tight, mainly the sternocleidomastoid or SCM and scalenes. Also, given the position of your head, it puts a lot more load on your upper trapezius fibers, which can become strained and tight. And lastly, your deep cervical neck flexors are barely getting used in this position, and over time they become weak and lack the required strength to stop your head from protruding forward. When all of these problems combine, it becomes the perfect storm for discomfort and pain. Seeing that we effectively have two groups of problems, one group that lacks strength and one that lacks mobility, it follows that we can create a program with two parts, one that strengthens and one that mobilizes. Let's start with the mobility part of the program. Research has shown that thoracic manipulation can provide immediate relief to neck pain, so that is where we will start. We are going to do the classic thoracic extension drill. All we need is a foam roller or a peanut. What we are going to do is place our object at the bottom of our thoracic spine. At each vertebrae, we are going to extend back. First, I will show you how to do this incorrectly. If I try to extend through my thoracic spine without contracting my abs, what actually happens is my rib cage is just flaring in and out. To make sure I localize this movement in the thoracic spine, which is where we want it, I must contract my abs. The movement is actually quite small. I'm going to do this in the entire thoracic region of my spine. If you are unsure, have a look at this picture again. The whole thing should take about 2 minutes. Next, we are going to target the pec minor. So to release the pec minor, we are going to stretch it using a door frame. The key thing to know about the pec minor is the orientation of the muscle fibers. This will give us a clue on the angle that we need to have our upper arm to stretch this muscle effectively. To begin the stretch, we're going to place our forearms and elbows against a door frame, but remember the orientation of the muscle fibers. We need to have our upper arm at about a 45-degree angle. From there, it is just a matter of leaning into the doorway and relaxing into the stretch for 2 minutes. And now our upper trap mobility. To stretch the upper traps, I'm going to show you a stretch that I found in a 2014 paper, which is incredibly effective, but I'm yet to see outside of that paper. To perform this stretch, place a foam roller running lengthwise down your spine. From there, keeping your chin tucked, all you are going to do is lower your head off to one side until the back of your head touches the floor. If you cannot rest your head on the floor, place a towel underneath the back of your head. We are now going to focus on the SCM and scalenes, both of which lie on the front of your neck and are involved in flexing, twisting, and tilting your head. To stretch our SCM, what we're going to do is we're going to tilt our ear towards one shoulder. Once you have tilted your head to one side, we are slowly going to rotate our head so that our gaze ends up looking at the ceiling. And now, to stretch the scalenes, I'm going to show you a little trick. Let's have a look at the anatomy of the scalene again. Have a look where it inserts. It actually inserts on the first rib. The reason why this is important is because if I just pin the first rib down as I do the exact same stretch, that means that the scalene is pinned down at one end and this becomes an SCM and scalene stretch. To pin my first rib down in this stretch, I'm going to put both hands on top of each other at the bottom of my throat. I'm going to apply a downward force with both hands. This will pin the scalene down at one end, and as I rotate my head and look upwards, it will now stretch the scalene as well as the SCM. That completes the mobility portion of this program. Now we just need to focus on the structures that are lacking strength and strengthen them accordingly, and nerd neck will be a thing of the past. In nerd neck, the activity of the lower and middle fibers of the trapezius are diminished. People view the upper traps as the entire trapezius itself. The trapezius is actually quite a large muscle that takes up a big portion of your back. To strengthen our middle and lower traps, we're going to do a wall slide. To perform the wall slide, we're going to lean back against the wall. We'll start with our feet about 30 centimeters away from the wall. From here, we are going to put our arms flat against the wall. Once we are in this position, we are going to mimic the motion of a pull-up by driving our elbows down towards the floor. When you do this, remember that you are trying to target the middle and lower fibers of your trapezius, so squeeze your shoulder blades down and back at the end of the movement. Next, to continue strengthening the middle and lower traps, we are going to perform a Superman. To perform a Superman, we are going to lay face down with our palms flat on the floor by our hips. Firstly, we are going to extend through the back, lifting our chest up off the floor. Then we are going to lift our hands up off the floor as high as we can, getting our shoulder as far into extension as we can. From there, we are going to externally rotate our arms as far as we can. The best way of thinking of this movement is that you are trying to rotate your arms far enough that your palms are facing the ceiling. Over time, as we get stronger, we can increase the difficulty of this movement by using such progressions as the T, the Y, and the W. Lastly, we have the deep cervical neck flexors. As the name suggests, they act to flex the cervical region of your spine as well as stabilize that area. To activate and strengthen these muscles, we are going to perform the chin tuck. To perform this, all you need to do is keep your head upright and tuck your chin towards your throat. Just think about trying to give yourself the biggest double chin that you can. It's important you are not tucking your chin by merely flexing your neck. You need to keep your head upright and pull your chin in as far as you can. We are going to do this for 3 sets of 10 reps. And that is the program. Let's recap. Simply by breaking this problem down into a set of smaller problems and addressing each of them one by one, we were able to come up with a program that is effective and can be done every single day. I will link this as a PDF in the description below. I made this video in the hope that it helps you. I want your postural problems to be a thing of the past. If you feel you got something out of the video and you feel it deserves it, don't forget to like, it really helps out the channel. My name's Nikki, this is QED Fitness, I'll catch you next time.